The Queen's Gambit declined and the Carlsbad structure. It's been a topic we have had a lot to talk about in GM Talks, and today I'm going to show you a line for black that seems to do very well. So this is actually a repertoire video for black in the Queen's Gambit declined. So if you play d4, d5 with black and answer c4 with e6, this is for you. And if you play the white side of the exchange variation, this is also for you, because this is what to avoid. Okay, let's get into it. It started with a game that Moiseenko lost against Casa Korley, a talented American player that plays for Denmark, because I think his mother is Danish. But he does not speak Danish, at least not fluently. I think his Danish is worse than my English, actually. Anyway, this is the Queen's Gambit declined, and this is the standard variation. You know that some people play bishop e7 here because they are afraid of the exchange variation. But if you like the Carlsbad structure, then why not let that happen immediately? So we have the Carlsbad structure here with these three pawns against white's pawn here, right? And if you are interested in this structure, we have had a lot of videos, and we have a whole course on this structure, which will teach you how to think in these structures. This is concrete lines for black. Anyway, this is the main line. There are many moves for black here. One that's very interesting is this move. That's a very aggressive. Usually black puts the bishop on e7, but of course d6 is a much more active and nice square for the bishop. The question is it too aggressive? Is it something that black can afford, or is it good? That's the big question. If black can get away with bishop d6, then it's good for him. All these moves are natural, and here well, I think the computer liked knight here, and that is definitely possible. It cannot be bad to play knight f3. Anyway, the main line is to play queen c2 or knight ge2. Anyway, one thing that is important to remember is black waits with this move until white threatens h7. So black waits with h6 before it is actually threatened. So here it comes, and rook e8, important move. Always in this structure, you don't want white to be able to play f3 and bishop f2 and sort of get a good coherent structure in the center. You want to be able to restrain the pawns from moving forward. And white's plan is, of course, the Kasparov structure. You can learn much more about it in the full course on the Carlsbad structure. Knight ge2. Of course, knight f3 is also possible. It seems that white does not completely trust putting the knight on f3 against the bishop move on d6. At least in all the games I see, they put it on e2. But maybe it's not that good. a5, that's a weird move. We have had a little bit discussion about the move a5 in the course. Contra, the thing is, should you go a5 or a6? In this situation, and I was an advocate of going a6 because you don't give away the b5 square when the c pawn disappears. That sounds very far-fetched, but it's very concrete in a lot of situations in the middle game. But here, the idea behind a5 is actually not so much to avoid the minority attack, but more to put the knight here without allowing a nasty bad pawn structure with bishop takes a6, and you have isolated pawns on the a3. And I think white is a little bit afraid that if he goes castle, then this is a problem, and I think he's correct, because something like this looks bad, right? So this is the problem. That's why after a5 he goes h3 to avoid this. He would, of course, much more prefer to go f3, but this pawn is hanging. By the way, notice that he could of course go e4, but this is nothing. And anyway, you can always just take, and you can give a check here, or you can go back. It doesn't matter. White need, if he's going to take the isolated queen pawn position, which we also have a course on, he better have something for it, and that is attacking chance. And here it's more or less black who has the initiative right off the bat. a3, knight a6, threatening this move. And of course, we know this bishop here is white's good bishop. This is the guy you want to exchange if it's possible. So the only natural move here is a3, but that loses tempo and gives time for the knight to join the fight. It's coming for the center. This is often a very good maneuver in this, and also in the e takes f6 Xtracon that we also have as part of the repertoire for GM talks. Castle, normal move. We will see the next game that white did not like this, so he did not castle. And knight e6. And basically black is more or less almost fully developed here. White's plan is to go e4. So he starts with f3, and knight e5 is the trick. Remember that trick. That was why the knight, it went like this. It's kind of cool. It goes like this. Boop, boop, boop. And suddenly the knight is on the king side. And if you look at black's pieces, you suddenly see that they are all aiming at the king side, apart from the rook here. Everybody else is aiming at the king, and white should really be careful now. Really be careful. And he is not. By the way, Alexander Moiseenko is a very strong player. Ukrainian. I hope he's fine and he's okay. It's not nice what's going on over there. And he plays e4. And he should probably have listened to his sense of dangers. But because here comes a really nice point of black's play. Knight takes e4. So, what is that? What's that? The idea is to open for this here, and after this move, you take here, and black is already having a really nice attack. And by the way, white is more or less defenseless in this situation. It happens actually more often than you think in the Queen's Gambit decline exchange variation. And black has bishops. He has the queen here, and he has the rook coming somewhere soon. Rook f2, bishop takes a3, and already black has gotten 3 pawns for the piece and an ongoing attack. And it's very difficult for white to coordinate his pieces. And after this move, Kassa Korley found a fantastic move for black. Rook e5. Rook e5. Of course, the idea is the rook is en route to d5 with a winning attack. Okay, so you have to take, and after this move, white is really in trouble, and it went very fast. By the way, that's kind of nice. And next move is actually mate. So that was nice, right? This Moiseenko guy has been 2700 for a long time. He's not anymore at the moment, but he is a very strong player, and just kill him like that. So this line attracted my attention there, but I didn't really look into it. And then in Tuesday came another trick with a tournament from St. Louis, the new center of chess in the US. And there was a great game that reminded me of this line. And this is Kamil Dragun versus Jeffery Xiong. I don't know how it's to say. Very talented American player that seems to have stalled a little bit. He was one of the biggest talent a few years ago, but he has to go forward, and he's not at the moment. And here we have the Queen's Gambit declined, exchange variation again. By the way, it's very important if you play the Queen's Gambit to have a line against the exchange variation, because in almost all the repertoire books, this is what they recommend for white. Both because it was always considered to be slightly better for white, but also because it's very easy to learn, and it's also very easy to write about it. Because you take, and then all the next moves like this gives it themselves. You put your where the pieces are going is very easy. They are almost always going to the same squares, just a question of small nuances. Bishop d6, and we have the line again, and castle. And knight d2 and rook e1. And notice here that black does not play h6 until this is threatened, right? Here white would of course love to do this, but then we have this problem again. Please notice this bishop check, and if he takes, then we have knight d4 and queen takes d5, winning. So that is the trick. You will probably win a few games in blitz if you use this line. Okay, queen c2 makes a lot of sense. h6. So white was threatening this pawn due to the pin on the knight, and black responds by moving the pawn so it's no longer attacked and attacking the bishop. Bishop h4, and we see the same line again. a5. This is the idea, and again this pressure is the problem for white. a3, knight a6, threatening to get rid of the bishop. a3, knight c7, and again the knight is coming. g4. So this was Dragun's improvement for white. Simply, he's not going to castle kingside anytime soon. He's gonna do something else, and black carries on with knight e6. And of course, a logical move would be something like f4, but it looks really thin. But also, what he does, f3, is, yeah, if white is allowed to play something like play something like this and here and start an attack on the king side, he would be better, but he is not in time, because black immediately plays b5 and is ready to soon annoy white here. So white panics completely and plays e4, and in general it's kind of risky to push the pawns forward, especially if you don't. In this kind of situation, if you're gonna weaken your position this much, you better get some serious attacking chances really fast. And in this case, this is simply not the case. The black king on g8 is very safe. It's not in any near danger. And in general, this setup for white is more of a slow rolling attack, where you slowly get a little bit more, and the attack gets momentum slowly, not quickly. So this e4 is sort of not in the nature of the position. He takes, opens the position, and here I think the computer likes something like b4 or something, but bishop e7 cannot be bad. Just the pin was a little bit annoying, so why not just do something about it? And we can see that you're also threatening this pawn down up here. Okay, and he goes down and defends it. Bishop b7. Now the rooks are connected, and black is really ready for action. Next up could be something. Well, he's dreaming of playing something like this and just explode the position into white's head. We notice that this square is very weak, and in general, white's position makes a clumsy impression. He keeps going and saying, okay, I still have attacking chances or something. And after this, well, I think if white got a little bit worried about this move coming. I think black is planning to play this move and then followed by this move, and that would open for this bishop here, and it would weaken this pawn here and make this square even worse, and so on. So I think black is already winning, more or less. White's try to stop the attack a little bit. Bishop e4 prevents c5 for now, but it cannot be prevented forever. And meanwhile, where is the king going? b4, kicking the knight Queen c7, simply developing, getting ready for c5, covering the bishop here, and white is well, that is suicidal, isn't it? So here comes this move, and here comes c5, and now white is completely busted. Totally and utterly busted. The attack on the king side is not going anywhere, and something like this, well, you can do whatever you like here. You can play knight takes e5, you can play queen e5, you can play knight f4. I think the computer really likes something like this, and you're just gonna get blasted completely in this in this. And well, anyway, rook c1, and of course, well, to be honest, yeah, bishop c6. I'm not sure that I like this move. This I don't know. It's a little bit of a weird move. But b3, of course, is not the way. Queen b7, and white can resign now. He took rook f1, queen d5, getting out of the pin, getting ready to take everything in the center, and then kill the stray king here. And after this move and this move, white gave up. Black has a lot of threats here. He's threatening to take this one. This would be very unpleasant. He's threatening to make a pin here. He's threatening to take this knight and give a check here. So it's understandable that white resigned here. He's more than lost. He's completely and utterly out of the game. So this line here with bishop d6, well, we will have to have an answer on knight f3. That will be in a later video. But in general, I think this system will suit you well. And it seems that even though it was 3 years ago that Korley won this great game against Moiseenko, white has not found anything convincing since that. So this line is recommended for black. And if you also know the general structure and understand it by, of course, watching the course we have on the Carlsbad Structure, you will be in great shape with black against 1d4. Okay, there's also the Catalan. That will something we'll have to look into later on. This was GM Talks. Thank you for watching.